Okay, just a couple of days ago in the mail, I get an email that's from YouTube, basically saying we've changed our terms, our corporate terms, terms of service, and we want you. It's clearer and it's more defined, and you will love it. So anyway, so people actually read the terms of service. A TechSpot read them, and apparently the new terms of service. That basically what the new terms of service that YouTube sent out basically says that it can now ban users it deems no longer commercially viable. Okay? According to TechSpot, the strange rule appeared in YouTube's new terms of service. The link was sent out to everybody who's on YouTube, and it emailed everybody. Right. It appears in the account suspension and termination section under the terminations by YouTube for service charges subheader. So trying to make it clearer, make their policy more understandable, they threw this big giant fuzzball into the mix. According to TechSpot, the exact wording of the new terms set to come into effect on December the 10th in the United States reads, quote, YouTube may terminate your access or your Google account's access, even your whole Google account, if you're using email, Gmail, whatever, to all or part of the service if YouTube believes in its sole discretion that the provision of service to you is no longer commercially viable. What does that mean? And then YouTube goes on to say that their new terms of service are supposed to be clearer and easier to understand. So figure that one out. So YouTube defined what commercially viable is. I mean, that channel that makes no money. I mean, there are channels that are not monetized. Are they commercially viable? There are folks that have 15 subscribers. Are they commercially viable? Anyway, it's very confusing, A YouTube spokesman tells TechSpot that we're not changing any of the way our products work or how we collect or process data or any of this other settings. However, TechSpot wonders the terms may be a way for YouTube to remove channels that promote hate speech. Again, quotes. Conspiracy theories or other harmful messages whose content isn't extreme enough to warrant an outright ban. And these are unlikely to be of commercially viable status. So that means basically YouTube has expanded its authority to delete channels that it feels like are not politically correct or are pushing the envelope of norms in terms of political speech. I don't know. The bottom line, though, if you have to say, is if it's legal speech, then YouTube would have to allow it to be put up. Now, maybe not monetized, but at least you would think they would have to allow it to be at least on their platform, right? At least you would think they would want to do that. Anyway, TechSpot basically says these new clearer terms of service need to be more clearly explained. Well, there you go. There's another website called Bleeping Computer, which basically says that YouTube has always had the commercial viability clause in its terms of service or terms of use. And this has not actually been updated. So the terms have already been there, but apparently in the new terms of service, people are now spotting this and wondering, what the heck is it? YouTube says this does not mean that your channel has to make money and be commercially viable in order to remain on YouTube. So there are lots and lots of channels out there that are not commercial channels. They have nothing to worry about unless YouTube changes its mind. But anyway, instead, this clause refers to Google's right to remove particular YouTube or Google services if they find that it does not make commercial sense to them to keep supporting them. So anyway, the channel is the policy is not supposed to affect any low usage services. So if you're just a small channel that's not making commercial viability, don't worry about it. But if you're a channel that's going out doing some sort of political extremism in the way you're talking or some sort of subject matter, this is just another way for YouTube to be able to shut you down if they don't like what you're doing. Again, YouTube is a private place. It's their website. They can do what they want with it. Okay, theoretically, you still have the right to free speech, but no one has the right to take your speech and put it on their platform or allow you to put it on their platform. Get it? You can't just go to a radio station and say, I want a show. They don't have to put you on the air. But, you know, YouTube's the same way, and they just want to have the authority there telling you in their terms of service that if they don't like what you're doing, you are gone because of your quote-unquote commercial viability. Well, there you go.